Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger here from Holsinger's Fly Shop again, bringing you another nymph pattern today. It's winter time here while I'm shooting this. Of course, we're having a mild winter here in central Pennsylvania so far this year, which I'm not complaining. But I'm thinking about spring, and right now I'm thinking about Sulphurs, which is one of our big first hatches. It lasts for almost a month, give or, real close to a month actually. And when it starts out big. Size 12, size 14, ends up size 16 to size 18 as it goes on. And so we get to fish sulphurs here for, like I said, about a month. And I like to have them on hand. So I've been messing around with the sulphur pattern and trying to come up with one that I like a little bit better. And this is what I come up with and what I'm going to be using this spring. So give it a try. It's really easy to tie. I call it the two-tone sulphur because there's two colors of thread involved in it. And it's super easy to tie. So hope you like it. Here you're going to see the fly in the vise and then the material list to tie it. Alright, here you see the fly in the vise. It's a really easy one to tie and it looks really good. The two-tone sulphur is just a simple little pattern, and we'll get into tying it here. For the hook, I'm using one of our Holsinger's Fly Shop Jig Hooks, and it's a size 14. And for the bead, I am using a 3.3 millimeter metallic orange bead. Now the first thing I'm going to put on is the thread. For thread I'm using 140 Denier wood duck. And this is going to, whoops, there we go. This is going to make the abdomen of the fly. And I'm just going to push the bead, and I'm going to put the bead in place with this. There we go. Just wrap a little bit of thread up there, lock that bead in place so it doesn't roll around. And then we're going to wrap back towards the bend. Now, for the hackle for the tail on this, I'm just using a yellow, this is just a yellow saddle hackle, and you can use whatever color you want here. It's not really important. Use a medium Pardo. If you don't have a yellow, just use what you have that's close to it. And I'm just going to wrap it down, make a nice little tail on here. Go. That hackle feather was actually out of a grab bag, one of the whiting introductory, what do we call them? The grab bags, the big bags full of feathers, really great for like wings on streamers and stuff. And I use them for a lot of things, collars on wet flies and streamers, and I'm just using it for a tail here, but by all means, go with a medium Pardo or a dark Pardo, whatever. It'll do just the same. And the next thing I'm going to put on is a piece of flex floss, and this is brown. And this is going to be the rib on the fly. I'm going to start it right up there by that bead and get it tied into place. And then I'm going to stretch it real tight, and I'm going to wrap it back there to the tail. And then we're just going to cover up all the thread, keeping it as thin as we can, but covering up all that flex floss, and then I'm going to whip finish it off. Just a small whip finish, just enough to hold it in place there. And then the reason it's called a two-tone sulphur is because we're going to give it the other color, which is orange, which is going to give it a little bit of brightness to it, a little contrast, which I like. And we're just going to wrap it on there. And about halfway between, there we go, I like that, about between 2/3 and halfway, somewhere in there. And then we're just going to wrap our flex floss up to make a nice rib on it. We're going to pull it a little tight to thin it out, and then evenly space it up through here. And then we'll just tie it off when we get up to the bead. And it only takes 2 or 3 good tight wraps there. We'll cut that off. Now last thing I'm going to use is a little collar, and I'm going to make that out of red fox squirrel Thorax to make the thorax on this fly. And I don't need a whole lot. Don't overdo it here. That would be probably the biggest mistake you could make on this fly, because everything else is pretty simple. So don't overdo it. Just put enough on there to make a nice little collar. And then I'm gonna put a hot spot collar on here with this orange, but I'm not gonna make it real big, so we're just gonna do it with our whip finish. I like to make 2 knots in case the first one would come out. And I'm just gonna make 3 or 4 wraps, and that's all on each knot. So there you see, there's my hot spot, which is nice thin collar. You got a little bit in here showing through to give it that orange, the different colored thorax. And that's a great looking sulphur pattern. So give that a try. You're going to like it. It's going to fish real well. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that fly. It was an easy one to tie, and like I said, I've been messing around with this one for a while, playing with the color combination, and I really like what I come up with here. And it's just a simple pattern. It'll fish well. It's made to get down right away, fishing on my Euro nymph setup. And it's got a little flash, which, you know me, I like the flash with that orange bead up there. And if you would look up the Sulphur nymph, it actually starts out a little darker in the back, lightens up in the abdomen, or sorry, in the thorax. So it kind of hits on it. It'll be a good representation. Like I said in the video about the tail here, don't get hung up on the tail trying to find a yellow feather. You might not have one. That's fine. And this one is actually, it's like a dirty yellow. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's almost the wood duck color of thread, just a little bit lighter. And that's just what I'm using here. Use what you have. That's the important thing. They're not going to key on that tail. They're going to be keying on the size and profile more than anything else. So have fun tying, guys. Experiment. Do what I'm doing here. Experiment with different patterns, you know, current patterns that you already tie. Experiment with colors to match the ones in your area that you have. So have fun tying, guys. That's what it's all about. If you want to tie this one here, I have the links to the materials in the description down below here. You can find everything there, and a link to the website at holsingersflyshop.com. So until next week, guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, comment if you want. I enjoy the comments, and I'll see you next week when I bring you another video. And I'm Sean Holsinger.